Hi everyone, Julia is here. I'm glad to say on my channel Fruition. And the theme in today's video will be Irish travelers. So let's begin. Today we will talk with you about small but not so small group of people that inhabits Ireland. And Alice, it brings a lot of problem to society. Let's try to understand where the lacks of this behavior and such consumer attitude to the world group from. And after all, there are reasons for everything which sometimes lay down genetically. So, people usually associate travelers with the following keywords that give them a complete description: gypsy, unemployment, under the social care of the state. Already these phrases are enough.
Movie lovers are familiar with Irish travelers and very modern way of life from the characters in the movies Snatch, Chocolate, and also thanks to the series Peaky Blinders, Basic. Well, I think I'll make a separate review on this topic, but regarding horror movies and those based on real events, I recommend that you look into my previous reviews.
Well, in general, who remember, I had the experience of living in the neighborhood with a such ethnic group. Who didn't watch? Check it out. Nevertheless, I agreed to talk with you about history of these people. So, let's get started. These people usually called travelers in terms of lifestyle and occupations. They really look like gypsy. They roamed the country on carts and wagons, lived in tents, and in our time we live in wanderers, settle down and live either in normal houses or residential trailers. Everything depends, of course, on wealth. Another question is really rhetorical. Where did they get it from? In general, their life improved when in 1972 Ireland joined the EC, which later became the European Union, and other European countries have already begun to help here.
From ancient times, they traded in a small-scale resale of goods. Both some were cheaper, sold elsewhere at a higher price, making copper utensils, mending shoes, cleaning chimneys, repairing roofs, seasonal agricultural work, trading horses, as well as the slaughter of sick cattle. These days, these activities have become irrelevant, and here's why. Everything has been going on since the Second World War, when the way of life of the trade has changed a lot. Mass production made metal utensils so cheap that leaky housewares began to be thrown away and replaced with new ones. The same with shoes. Horses were replaced by cars, tractors, and other agricultural equipment, which also made the labor of farm laborious unnecessary. Mail order business and the spread of supermarket chains abolished the profession of peddler. Many wanderers moved to the cities of Ireland and Britain. They settled in buildings abandoned or dilapidated by the war, or even arranged a camp on the outskirts of their tents and wagons. Men were engaged in the collection, sorting, and delivery of scrap metal, waste paper, and glass containers. Women and children begging.
Well, plus no one cancels the employment in big business, which, it doesn't matter how we deny it, brings good to the treasury of absolutely any country. Actually, after all these events, a offensive nickname was formed, knockers, from the word knock, which can also be interpreted as
an estimated 23,000 Paddies live in Ireland, 15,000 in the UK, and 7,000 in the United States of America. Irish travelers are clearly distinguished in their countries of residence by language and customs. The traditional language is sheltered, but they also speak English with a distinctive accent and a manner. How pronounce it my accent? Write in the comments. Of course, the townspeople complained to the authorities about vagrants and beggars, and in 1963 the government finally drew attention to the poverty of the nomads, their illiteracy, infection with diseases, and the inconvenience that they caused to the surrounding population. For them, they began to arrange special sites along the roads where the camp could be connected to the power grid, water supply, and sewerage. The children were able to attend the nearest school. By the end of the decade, a movement for the transition of wayfarers to settled life was born, in which volunteers from all walks of life participated. Until recently, they were illiterate, so they have no written history. Genetic analyses have shown that wanderers without exception have a special gene that is characteristic of 89% of the Irish. So, unlike the Gypsies, these are not aliens, but the very indigenous population of Ireland. In the genome of wanderers, 10% of Gypsy genes were also found, which is quite understandable. They wandered along the same roads. And if you're interested in who else inhabits Ireland, then see my issue on this topic.
And today, the question of the origin of Irish travelers is the subject of debate. Genetic analysis of Irish travelers suggested three hypotheses of their origin. First, Irish ancestor. Second, several distinct population groups. And third, Viking influences ancestry. By the way, subscribe to my channel, mark the bell in order not to miss new release, and push the button if you like this video. Move on.
Some researchers believe that Irish travelers are descended from another nomadic people, the Tarish. Previously, it was widely believed that they are the descendants of peasants who were dispossessed of land during the conquest of Ireland by the troops of Oliver Cromwell and during the Great Famine in Ireland in 1840s. But there is evidence that the Paidy inhabited Ireland already in the Middle Ages. The Russian ethnologist Nikolai Bessonov believed that the travelers were one of the early separated from the rest of the gypsies by a gypsy group, mixed with a local nomadic non-gypsy ethnic group up to complete or almost complete genetic, but not cultural dissolution. He noted that similarity of the way of life of Western European gypsies and travelers up to the arrangement and decoration of traditional cars. Some sites of Irish travelers indicate a similar point of view on the origin of the ethnic group.
I think that genes cannot be deceived and they still drawn by nomadic lifestyle. After all, even finding a job for an uneducated people is not easy, especially in our time of crisis. There is a terrible statistic that many of them become drinkers, and suicide rate among the men of this ethnic group is 6 times more higher than among the other Irish people.
Women are better able to cope with a new life, since their role as a keeper of the hearth, a nanny, cook, and breadwinner for her husband and children has not changed much, but has been greatly facilitated thanks to the simple benefits of civilization: electricity, a normal warm toilet, running water, household appliances. Women are more willing to accept education both for their children and for themselves. Most children attend school until the age of 16, after which they are legally entitled to stop their studies. Some go on to high school, and there are even cases of graduating from a university or a technical institute. Although in one town a wanderer was elected mayor, they still remain a separate and rather closed castle of our society. Opinion polls show that the local population has a better attitude towards recent immigrants from Asia, Africa, and Eastern Europe than towards genetically close wanderers. This is partly due to high crime, the presence of organized gangs among the wanderers. A man of this caste is 11 times more likely to go to jail than the average Irishman.
To sum up, the years of political games and the death of human destiny destroyed not only a person, a family as a cell of society, but also people as whole. We can observe this even today. I want people to be more aware of what they trying to do to them. Well, I said so much, but we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. See you in the next thematic video.